Imagine standing at the edge of the world, where steel meets sky, where the raw honesty of a barn touches the clouds, where every sunset doesn't just paint the horizon, it paints your ceiling. This isn't just architecture. This is rebellion wrapped in glass and timber, floating above everything you've ever known. Welcome to the Skydeck Penthouse Barndominium, the design that shouldn't exist, but does. You know what's fascinating? For decades, we were told to choose. Live in the city or escape to the country. Have luxury or have authenticity. Reach for the stars or stay grounded in the earth. But what if I told you there's a space where all these contradictions collapse into one breathtaking reality? A place where you can wake up surrounded by exposed beams and raw metal. Step onto a terrace that floats hundreds of feet in the air and watch the world spin below you while you're cocooned in something that feels like home. The Skydeck Penthouse Barndominium isn't trying to be a farmhouse. It's not pretending to be a Manhattan loft. It's something entirely different, something that makes your chest tighten the first time you see it because your brain can't quite categorize it. And maybe that's the point. Let me take you there. Picture this. You're riding an industrial elevator, the kind with exposed cables and metal grating that lets you watch the floors disappear beneath your feet. Your heart's already racing because you know something extraordinary is waiting. The doors slide open, and silence. Not the oppressive silence of a sterile penthouse, but the warm, breathing silence of a space that has a soul. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button because it's a simple way to show your love for these incredible designs. The first thing that hits you? The beams. Massive, reclaimed timber beams stretching across a ceiling that seems impossibly high. Their weathered surface telling stories of barns from another era, from another life. But here's where it gets interesting. These beams aren't holding up a simple roof. They're framing an engineering marvel. Above them, a lattice of steel and glass creates a retractable skylight system that turns the entire ceiling into a window to infinity. During the day, light pours down in golden columns, catching every grain in that ancient wood. At night, you're sleeping under constellations. Real ones. Not some LED simulation. Actual stars, spinning above you while you're wrapped in luxury. But here's what nobody tells you about the Skydeck Penthouse Barndominium concept. It's not about square footage. It's about emotional footage. How much can you feel in a single space? The main living area flows, and I mean truly flows, with no walls to interrupt the journey your eyes want to take. Industrial metal columns rise like ancient trees, their rusted patina left intentionally raw because beauty isn't always polished. Between these columns, massive floor-to-ceiling windows don't just show you the view. They dissolve the boundary between inside and out. You're not looking at the city or the landscape. You're suspended in it. And then there's the floor. Oh, the floor. Original barnwood planks, some of them 18 inches wide, each one distressed and scarred by decades of use, laid in a herringbone pattern that creates this hypnotic rhythm as you walk. But here's the twist. These aren't lying on concrete. They're floating on a sound-dampening system that makes every step feel grounded, yet somehow weightless. You're literally walking on history, suspended in the future. We share new content regularly to help you create spaces you love, so don't forget to subscribe. The kitchen. Let me tell you about the kitchen. Forget everything you think you know. This isn't a kitchen. It's a statement. A massive island crafted from a single piece of live-edge walnut sits at its heart, the natural edge of the wood preserved so dramatically that it looks like a river frozen in time. Above it, Edison bulbs hang on weathered chains at staggered heights, creating this constellation of warm light that makes every meal feel like an event. But the appliances? Pure contemporary defiance. A professional-grade range in matte black. A refrigerator panel disguised behind reclaimed barn doors that slide on industrial hardware. Concrete countertops poured on-site, sealed to a finish so smooth they feel like silk, yet every tiny air bubble and imperfection left visible, because perfection is sterile, and this space breathes. Now, here's where your heart starts beating faster. Because we haven't even talked about the Skydeck yet. You walk toward what looks like a solid wall. More of those reclaimed barn boards, silvered with age. But then a section slides away, a 12-foot pocket door that weighs 800 pounds but glides like a whisper, and suddenly you're outside, but you're still somehow protected. The Skydeck wraps around 3 sides of the penthouse, but it's not just a balcony. It's not just a terrace. It's a sanctuary suspended between earth and heaven. Glass panels, thick enough to lean against in a windstorm, rise from steel and timber railings that echo the beams inside. But here's the magic. Sections of the deck are covered by a pergola structure, those same massive timbers creating a geometric pattern overhead that filters light during the day and frames the sky at night. Under this covered section, an outdoor kitchen rivals the one inside. A pizza oven built from reclaimed brick, a built-in grill that looks like it belongs in a professional restaurant. But the uncovered sections of the deck? This is where time stops. Deep-seated outdoor furniture with oversized cushions in weather-resistant fabrics that feel like linen, whites and creams and grays that somehow never look sterile against the warm wood and metal. A fire feature that's not a typical fire pit, but a linear trough of flame, dancing in a bed of black lava rock, contained within a Corten steel surround that's rusted to this gorgeous orange-brown patina. And at the farthest point, where the deck juts out like the prow of a ship, there's space for nothing but you. A daybed built into the decking, piled with pillows, where you can lie back and feel like you're floating in the sky itself. Inside, the bedrooms tell their own stories. The master suite occupies an entire corner of the penthouse, with windows on 2 sides that make you feel perpetually suspended. But it's not the view that makes you catch your breath, it's the bathroom. Walk through sliding barn doors 9 feet tall, and you enter a space that redefines sanctuary. A freestanding copper bathtub, aged to a verde patina, sits directly in front of a window. Not beside a window, in front of it. When you sink into that water, your eye level with the horizon, whether it's a city skyline or mountain range or endless prairie. The shower? A walk-in space enclosed in steel-framed glass, but the back wall is made entirely of stacked stone, creating this cave-like feeling that somehow exists in the sky. And the vanity, dual sinks carved from solid stone, sitting atop a custom cabinet made from, you guessed it, more reclaimed barnwood. But the mirror above isn't delicate. It's a massive piece of distressed metal framed in steel pipes, with exposed filament bulbs creating Hollywood-style lighting that somehow feels completely at home in this rustic industrial hybrid. If you love this type of look, hit that subscribe button to help us create more videos. The guest bedrooms are more intimate, but no less considered. Each one features a different expression of the Barndominium language. One with a feature wall of corrugated metal, another with exposed bricks salvaged from a demolished factory, another with walls of shiplap painted in soft, moody colors that shift with the light. But here's what makes this design concept so emotionally powerful. It's not about showing off. It's about feeling found. Every material choice, every texture, every element speaks to something primal in us. The wood reminds us of forests and shelter, and the homes our ancestors built with their hands. The metal speaks to strength, to the industrial revolution that built modern civilization, to humanity's ability to transform raw materials into art. The glass represents our dreams, our desire to transcend, to see beyond what's immediately in front of us. And combining them all in a penthouse, traditionally the most exclusive, most removed, most untouchable type of residence, creates this incredible tension. You're elevated, but you're grounded. You're in a modern building, but you're surrounded by materials that are centuries old. You're in a city or above a landscape, but the space feels like it grew there naturally. The lighting design alone could make you weep. During the day, it's all about that natural light pouring through the skylight and windows. But as the sun sets, the space transforms. Those Edison bulbs in the kitchen create pools of amber warmth. LED strips hidden in the recesses between the ceiling beams cast a soft glow upward, making the timbers seem to float. The fire feature on the Skydeck becomes a beacon. And in the bedroom, smart glass can frost over at your command, creating privacy while still allowing light to filter through like you're inside a cloud. Now, you might be thinking, this sounds expensive. This sounds impossible. This sounds like something only a handful of people could ever experience.